Good afternoon, everyone. You're listening to the At Home with Charlene show live on Thursdays, KHTS 98.1 FM from 2 to 3. Thank you for always joining us. Love to have you on, and would like to welcome my special guest today, Amanda Benson.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Of course, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we thought we'd have a fun show today. It's always fun to talk about business, how we can help people in their individual businesses, how we can help websites, social media, different things that can help promote you, elevate you to another level. Just really try to put different tools into your toolbox. I think it's really important to do that.
Tools in your toolbox. That's
right?
What we need to build stuff. So yeah, it's good.
I think every show I like to start out with just a little bit of our current home statistics. And last week I went over some numbers and some current trends that were happening in our marketplace, and I found some interesting statistics that I wanted to share this week as well. Between January 1st and year to date, so just this first quarter, a little bit over, about first quarter of this year, we've had 959 closings. Of the 959 closings, this is what I found really interesting, was 516 of those were conventional loans.
Nice.
So about 53% of the market. We had 166 of those transactions were FHA, so 17% of the market. And we had 112 cash transactions. I thought that was very interesting.
It feels like our economy is doing great.
We just had as many cash transactions as we did almost FHA. Mm-hmm. So 12% of the closed transactions for the first part of the quarter was cash. So one, that either means we've got investors purchasing in the market, we've just have a lot of wealthy investors or a lot of people that have money. So I found that to be interesting. And we had 43 VA loans, which was 4% of the market. So kind of looking like the conventional loans taking precedence over all the other loans. But keep in mind that we've definitely have about 240 closings happening per month.
That's insane. The real estate market, it's so hot. You know, we just bought a house too, so it's nuts.
I know.
Like waiting game, and we were, waiting for we had multiple offer situations, so it was very stressful.
Did you guys sell to purchase?
Yes.
So you were waiting, and that's a hard place to be in because you're selling.
Yeah.
On top of the purchase taking place.
Yeah.
So you got two moving transactions.
Yes, and I was very
time.
thankful for the buyers of our property who were actually wanting to, they stood by and waited because they wanted our place so much. So I was thankful that they just kept waiting because it took about 2 weeks. So, and that they were in that much. So I was happy for that. And it worked out for everybody. Buyers are happy. We're happy. Sellers are happy. Everybody's happy.
And they were able to purchase your home so you can move into this home.
Yes.
That's exciting. I mean, with a market where we don't have a lot of inventory, I mean, we'll get into this a little bit later in the show, but in a market where you don't have a lot of inventory, this means that the buyers have to be really prepared.
Yes.
You have to have your pre-approvals in place. You need to have all your I's dotted, T's crossed, because you don't want to be in a position where you find a home that you love and you've already got all these other offers in and you're just trying to get the process started.
Yes. I was very clear too that if we didn't get this particular house, which was just an opportunity, it was presented to me, you know how life is like that.
It just happens.
It just happened. And if it didn't work out, then we were going to take our house off the market. Because truthfully, as you know, I'm getting married this year, and that was the only goal on the agenda
list
for 2018.
Yes, that's a big goal.
Yeah.
Usually a house purchase and a wedding in the same year is a little.
It's too much. So that was the only thing that we were looking to do. So yeah, if it didn't work out, then we were just going to take the house off the market and just see what happens after the wedding. But opportunity's there because there's nothing on the market.
Right.
So when we saw it, it was the right house, and we just did it.
And you happened to get your offer accepted, which is a great thing in a very active multiple offer position.
Yeah, as you know.
I mean, I just really like the statistical part of it. I think it's interesting once you start going into the numbers and you start looking at it and you trying to start analyzing how the market's working and how it's rolling. And about 47% of the 959 closings we had in the first quarter, most of those, like I said, 47% of that was between 400 to 600,000. That was the price point.
Price range.
That's the price range everyone's looking at. So half the market is half the people looking to buy a home is looking between 400 and 600. That's why we have so many multiple offers.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to really talk about on today's show was what is going to set you aside from somebody else when you are in a 10 deep multiple offer situation. How are you going to stand out?
Yeah, that's the hard part. We're like what you said in the beginning, you got to have all your ducks in a row, make sure that
Right.
you're pre-qualified and that your house is listed at least if you are purchasing or, you know, if you're,
Contingent.
yeah, contingent. There's so many factors to play. It's not just like, oh, let's put an offer out there and then let's call the lender. You have to do everything prior. Um, and also, I know some other real estate agents because, you know, I know a few people
Yeah.
that they were submitting videos with their offer about
You know,
the family that was
I was
wanting to
going to
buy.
say a few things that I could suggest that people should be doing if you're
Sure.
looking at trying to purchase a home and you're looking at going up against multiple offers in that 400, 600 price point is have a solid pre-approval package. Make sure you're using a local lender because there's nothing worse than somebody local seeing that you're approved with a back east lender or somebody that's out of area that might not know the market or might not be easily accessible. That's a huge plus. You know, even a picture of you and your family and a write up about, you know, maybe you've been looking in this neighborhood for the last year or two since you've lived here and you decided this is the market you want to live in. And what better would it be for another family to see another family is trying to purchase that home, or
Yeah.
you know, a little write up about them and their kids and maybe the school district
School
or
district,
whatever it
yeah,
may be.
exactly.
And then a lot of things that the lender can supply too, copies of credit reports, copies of automated approvals, things like that, where maybe they're not getting it from somebody else. That would set somebody aside from
It's tough.
maybe just another pre-approval letter that comes in.
Those are all great ideas. Yeah.
I mean, Amanda, you're well known in our community. You're very involved in the chili cook-off. You're very involved with Henry Mayo and the collecting of
The teddy bear drive.
Teddy Bear Drive.
Saturday.
So you have a lot of things going on, and you're involved, and you like to help a lot of businesses and help people with their business. I thought it would be important today for you to share some of the ideas, some of the strategies, some of the things you have with small business owners and small businesses, and how, and agents, real estate agents, or
Yeah.
anyone who's in business for themselves, on how can they advance their career? How can they catapult to the next level? What are some suggestions you have?
Sure. Well, as you know, we talked a little bit about, I just got back from the Social Media Marketing World Conference in San Diego in March, and that was a fantastic event. I went 2015 when I was with Hyatt, and it was great then. It was much smaller. So it was in a hotel in 2015, and it has grown to the San Diego Convention Center to part of it. So that just goes to show you how crazy that social media actually is, and people are super invested in using it in their business. One of the things that I thought was really great, the takeaway between those 2 different years that I went, 2015 to 2018, was in 2015 they talked a lot about messaging and messaging apps and just how important it was, another way to communicate. I don't know if you remember back then, nobody wanted to download Instant Messenger from Facebook because they were like, oh, they're going to get my information and know where
Right.
I'm at.
I do remember that. Mhm.
Okay, well, duh, that's what's happening, and that was what was going to happen, but that's just what is happening when you have a smartphone.
Right.
Now, you know, and WhatsApp and everything like came out, wasn't just Facebook, but now we've got Instagram, there's YouTube, there's so many things that you can do with instant messaging and stuff. So now the conversation at the conference was a lot about chat bots, which, you know, like the automated
Responding
responses,
systems.
yeah, which are fantastic. And I think for agents, that's one thing that they can definitely implement into their systems. And if you don't know what a chatbot is, Google it. If you don't know how to implement one, call somebody who's possibly doing your website. I can call me. I'll give you a couple of referrals of who can do them for you. But it's so important because it allows people to ask a question right now, and everything, you know, is people are tangible. They want answers and responses right now. Chatbots are a great way to get that conversation started and possibly move them off of the platform where they found you, and drive it home a little bit more, and enables you to sell to them a little bit more. So your services, whatever that may be. So chatbots were a huge thing that were talked about. As well as one of the fun takeaways that I really loved about it this year, and I think could elevate your business, is a talk trigger, which is something that was really great. Jay Bear shared this. A talk trigger is something that the community or your customers are talking about. Us as business owners or marketers, we have an idea of what we want to market our business, right? It's either we're going to give a discount or it's our price, or you walk in and it's so nice, or it's our menu. That's fantastic. But what are your customers saying about your business? And are you paying attention to that and therefore capitalizing on it? So he used a great example. I'll just say Cheesecake Factory, for example. They're known as the place with the giant menu. They have a huge menu. And if you go to social or anywhere, that's how people are talking about them. And they capitalize on that. They know that they will never change their menu. They know that they have the largest menu ever. I think they have like 26 dishes with chicken only. Like, who has that?
Imagine being a waiter or waitress there and having to learn that menu.
No, that's why
right?
they're worth your tips.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was another great one of kind of like a walk-up restaurant, let's say like The Habit, for example, but it was an East Coast restaurant, but where you walk up and order and then maybe they serve you or they call your number. And every people that come up to the register right before they pay for their meal, the cashier pulls out a deck of cards. And you draw, and if you draw a joker, your meal's free. Now, what does that cost the restaurant? Like, they serve patty melts or hamburgers. It doesn't cost them that much money to give away a couple of free meals, if you think about it. But when the person wins the meal, it's like they won the lottery. They're stoked that they won it, and they share it all over social. That's their talk trigger.
And you know what actually I think is a great that you bring this up is because there's a lot of people who go through a day-to-day and you don't know what kind of a life they're living. You have no idea what kind of stresses or things might be going on. And that one simple little act of kindness by walking into a restaurant and you just happen to get a free lunch can completely turn someone's day around.
That's why they're going to share it all over social media.
They're going to share it everywhere.
Yeah. And guess what? Now their friends and family are going to want to go because they want their chance at a free meal. Again, it doesn't cost you much to do that. There's one other great one I'm going to share with you. It's a hotel chain in, I think it's East Coast, but they're mostly located in college towns. It's called The Graduate, is the hotel chain, and their key cards to get into their room are old celebrity college IDs, which is hysterical. So like people would take a picture like, look whose room key I got. It's like Will Smith or something, right? Well, all of a sudden now all their it's everywhere. They're not paying for that marketing or advertising, and that's their talk trigger. So they were listening to what their clients were saying or their customers were saying, how cool they thought those key cards were, and they capitalized on it. So I love that.
I think those are great ideas too, because I'm all about a branding for yourself, getting your name out there, doing it properly, making sure your representation of how you want yourself seen is projected the same way that you're consistently.
Yeah.
And nothing better than having something fun like that.
Yeah.
That creates conversation and creates postings and creates people to do things like that.
Yeah.
Because you're always trying to think of how you can be different, how you can be unique, how you can kind of set yourself aside.
I got you.
A little tongue-tied today. But you want to see how you can make yourself different and stand out.
Yeah.
And that's a great idea.
Yeah. There was a couple more that I love too. But one thing that they talked about this year at the social media conference was just live video feed and how to show using like things like the live stream on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram stories or just Facebook Live, how important that is because you can show your vulnerability,
right?
And you're real. You could celebrate your team members if they're doing something great, and instead of trying to use social media to market to them, you use it as a way to engage with them, and therefore you just naturally will grow followers. Everybody's so busy and like, how do I market? What's the ROI if I boost a post or do a Facebook ad? How about just go on Insta stories and show some behind the scenes and start engaging with your audience that way?
And I really think about, because you're right, there's so many things. Oh, the algorithm of this, and am I posting this correctly? And am I boosting myself the way I should be over here? And am I getting the exposure I need over here? But truly, I've just been thinking about it, and I think about what do I see on social media, what triggers me to look at it, and I really like vulnerability of people. I like to see someone's authentic person.
Yes.
And I think to me, if it's so made up and a video is so put together, I almost feel like I'm losing that person a little bit.
Right.
I would rather you take your phone, shoot it around, and you take a little video of yourself being silly, or,
Sure.
you buy a new house and you're probably like in your garden or whatever it may be. And it's like, oh, you know what? Because you can relate
Yeah.
Right? You're relatable at that
That's
point.
what it is. Yeah. And yeah, using the Insta stories or just like the live feeds are super important for that, to showcase that.
Right.
Because people want to, it's about connecting. Social media is about connecting and being
Right.
social. It's not just a way of marketing. It's a great avenue to market.
Right.
The value you get for the dollar that you spend, for sure. But to engage with those members, I think is where people are losing it. So, and it's hard for business owners to do that because they're busy running their business. So, and it's hard to convince them to get on social and start responding to people through Messenger or whatever else that they're doing. But Insta stories or Facebook stories is a great way to do it.
You guys are listening to the At Home with Charlene show live on Thursdays from 2 to 3 on KHTS 98.1. My special guest today, Amanda Benson with Ask Amanda. And today we're talking about current market statistics, like I always want to do every week, kind of let everybody know where we're at in Santa Clarita, what's going on in our community, and also how can we help other people? What can we do to help people in their businesses and other agents and just any independent business? How can we help make somebody grow? How can we put them to the next level?
Another way too that I wanted to bring up is just to get involved. You know, you mentioned how involved I am in the community, and that just comes from a place I was raised that way. I don't know any other way. If I'm not giving back, I don't feel whole. That's just how I am. And sometimes I don't have the money to give back, so I have the time. And I think also the community needs to recognize that it's not just the same group of people that need to give back. We need to reach out to the younger crowd and encourage them. And there's no better way than to show them.
And, I think giving back sometimes is more heartfelt when it is your time.
Yes.
Or when it's your effort and when it's just you caring about something that you're doing versus just putting a lot of money out into an event. Because to me, it's not as heartfelt, and it's not, if you're really compassionate about something, it's going to come across and you're going to excel into wanting to do that.
Yeah, and it's going to get other people to want to help too and buy in when they see that you're passionate about it. But we've got on Saturday the Donate a Bear drive that the hospital's done. This is like my 4th or 5th year, I think, involved with it. And the reason why I'm involved is because my son years ago needed stitches in his eye, and they came, not in his eye, I'm sorry, felt like it, but underneath his eye. And they came to, one of the nurses came to give him a teddy bear, which he quickly named Stitches. And that comforted him so much that it enabled me to calm down while they were stitching up his beautiful little face,
But you thought about what it could do for other kids and what it could do for somebody else. And what I like about that is that we're people who are thinking about how we can help somebody else.
Yes.
And to me, that means a lot, because in the businesses that we're in, we want to help families, we want to help businesses, we want to help other people succeed, because if they succeed, then in turn we succeed as well. And we're in a people industry in business, and that's
where just being able to donate and give your time and find out what it is that you're passionate about, maybe, or that where it is that you would like to give back. I think definitely go for that, for sure. I think that's super important. And then I don't know. There's a lot of things that you could do. I think a lot of businesses too should also look at. I'm gonna just throw out, like, John Mazzella just did it because I saw his post today. But he's been 7 years in business and he just rebranded his business. I think rebranding is huge and can be very beneficial. I just was working with a company, or I am still working with a company in Burbank, a gym, Burbank Fitness Club, and we just rebranded them completely, and it has been a kick and fun, and it's successful, and it needed a refresh.
And I think at some point you don't want to become stagnant, and you don't want to become stale in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And every 3, 4, 5 years, I think you kind of need to give it a lift.
Yeah, I agree.
Really need to give it a boost, because you need to be ahead with the time. You need to be with the time. You need to let them know that you're there and you're present.
It could just be changing your logo. It could be changing some colors. It could be updating your website, maybe changing your content up. You've had them on before, but Schlickart, they do a great video series, and maybe just adding videos to your website can be part of that. So I don't know. There's a lot to do with that. And I think changing up the way that you reach your audience, I think a simple rebrand can be super crucial and helpful.
I agree with that too, because I think you really want to give.
You did that, right?
Yes. I mean, I remember talking to you probably about a year ago, and I said, okay, we're gonna connect at some point. I'm in the process of doing a bunch of rebranding and restructuring and putting myself out there in the way that I want to be seen and interpreted. So I think it makes a big difference. Well, we have the help of Lindsay and Brian and Phyllis with my logo. I mean, I had there's a lot of people that I try to help support too, with their businesses and try to bring everybody together, help everybody, and promote everybody as much as we can. And I think that's important.
Yeah. It is. I think that you've done a great job with it too, and other businesses have as well. But it's something to look at. People don't think about things like that. Different way to market themselves and
Yeah.
consider like
And
changing up
Ask
their brand.
Amanda, that cute, little
Thanks.
thing that you have. You guys can check her up on Facebook and pull up her page. Very cute. I like how your video runs.
Thank
Very
you.
classy, but it also represents, I think, you in your business. And I don't know. I think there's something that needs to be said for people who are doing that properly
Yes.
and exposing themselves and putting
Bringing the
themselves
right
in
team on board to
exactly.
make it all happen is
Exactly.
important. Yeah.
Exactly. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to the At Home with Charlene show. We'll be back in just a minute. Stay with us.
Little Eye Leaders is the newest preschool in the Santa Clarita Valley. At Little Eye Leaders, our outstanding teachers lead with intellect, perspective, and heart. That means our programs provide a warm, nurturing atmosphere to meet the unique needs of each child. We believe that play is a powerful form of learning for young children. That's why our kids have every opportunity to learn through the magic and excitement of play. Parents, schedule a tour today by calling 303-0400 or online at littleeyeleaders.org.
The stress was unbelievable.
Debbie Morris is a changed woman.
A giant boulder's been lifted.
Debbie called Made for You.
I'd finished a day of work.
Professional, residential, and commercial cleaning.
Walk into my house.
Made for You.
It was an absolute pigsty.
Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or even one-time seasonal cleaning.
Our mess kept growing.
255-2922.
Even when we weren't home.
255-2922.
Made for You rescued me.
KHTS strives to give the Santa Clarita Valley all the information they need. And when our computers aren't working the way they should, we call Resurgence, your true source for IT. Resurgence provides outstanding customer service while also providing the highest technical ability. They strive to do what is best to improve and protect your business. For more information on Resurgence, call 349-4114 or go to resurgenceit.com.
What's the perfect way to end the weekend? Sunday brunch at Salt Creek Grill, of course. Wind down with delectable dishes off Salt Creek's award-winning menu and enjoy a glass of champagne, because after all, you deserve it. Make Sunday brunch at Salt Creek Grill a new tradition with your family and friends. Salt Creek Grill in Valencia on Town Center Drive in front of the movie theater. For reservations, 222-9999 or go online to saltcreekgrill.com.
This weekend, it's fun for your entire family at the KHTS Home and Garden Show and Crafts Fair at Central Park. Admission is free, featuring 500 of Santa Clarita's leading vendors. It's fun for the kids with a petting zoo, pony rides, and pig races. Go on a tasting tour at our parade of award-winning food trucks. On Saturday, join the excitement at the Emergency Expo and Arbor Day celebration, where you can catch the fire department demolish a car this Saturday and Sunday at Central Park. Full details at SantaClaritaHomeshow.com.
Welcome back, you guys. You're listening to the At Home with Charlene show, live on Thursdays from 2 to 3 on KHTS 98.1, your hometown station. And I'm honored to have Amanda with me today, Amanda Benson with Ask Amanda. And we've been talking about market statistics. We try to give you a little bit of an update on where the current market is in your local area, and also try to supply some tools that will help your business, catapult your business to another level. And really talking about social media and the importance of that and how beneficial it can be to your business. We were just talking on break, and I said, there's a lot of people that I have referred to other people. There's a lot of people that I've done business with from social media alone.
I mean, that's how I grew. That's what Ask Amanda is. It's because people would reach out to me. This is exactly how Ask Amanda started. I'm actually going to bring my friend Diana. She knows this, but she's not from here. She came here from Glendora, and so we worked together at the Hyatt, and so she didn't know anything. So she would text me all the time and ask me all these questions, like, I need a plumber, or like, where do I go for brunch, or like all these things. And so it became a hashtag Ask Amanda. It was a joke, and that's what my business is from. But when I grew from the Hyatt to Elite and everywhere else, like, people would just reach out to me like, who do you know? And do you have this? And I'm like this point of reference, but right. Facebook is the way I did it. I just did it to Salt Creek last night. I made a connection to them, like trying to get them some more catering business. And I instant messaged her the contact and the email and the name that she needed to be able to do that. So it is crucial if you're not on Messenger, period, because not everybody keeps business cards anymore. Like, I have a box of 500 business cards that I ordered last year, and I still have half of them left. And I'm doing fine. It's not because I
Right.
haven't handed out my business card. It's because I'm active on social.
Right.
When was the last time you handed out?
I know. I do hand out my business cards, but I also use my business card as a tool that follows up a conversation I might have
Perfect.
had, or just here's an extra piece of some information that I have in case you don't have it,
Or like
you
in a
throw it
thank
in your
you card or
yeah,
something.
you throw it in there. But I just think it's so crucial because a lot of people that I've done business with have all been social media related or
Yeah.
been referred to me from somebody else I've known on social media. I kid around and I say I have a lot of social media friends that I haven't actually physically met
Sure.
because you're just friends in a
It's
in a
true.
social format.
Yeah.
There is somebody that I'm friends with on Facebook who said, you know what, I have tons of friends on here that I've never met, and is making it a point to go and meet everybody.
Oh my God, how fun
Or
is
trying
that?
to
I
go
hope they're
out there
documenting that.
and just
That's awesome.
randomly, just people that you are friends with on there that you have referred business to or
Sure.
back and forth with, that you just meet them in person. I mean, what a way to grow your business.
Yeah, it's huge. And I think that what we were talking about on break too is that people that have a Facebook page, they don't necessarily engage on it. They're not active on it.
Right.
And they're losing business and potential referrals. Or even if you're not being seen often enough, then what value are you offering? Like, where is it? It could be in other avenues. I'm not saying that that's the only place.
But you have to think of too, like for in my industry, we're talking about real estate agents and loan officers and people in lending and things like that. How do people know how to do business with you? Unless you're actively out there and putting yourself in front of people, they're not going to know that you're there.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. My dad retired, this was years ago, but retired from a pretty big company as the CEO, and he never even had a computer in his office. And I thought, how the heck did you do that? Now, granted, this is before Facebook, but I think of that nowadays when people are out like door knocking and stuff, and I can't, when they leave and I can't find them on social, it surprises me. It's like, that's the new Yellow Pages.
Yeah, you have to be able to be found.
Yeah.
So if somebody hears your name, they want to be able to put you in Google. They want to be able to put you somewhere and just be like, oh, there she is.
Yeah.
There he is. There's who they were talking about. So you could put, and you want to put a face with it. I see, this is just my own personal opinion, but I'll see business cards or I'll see postings where somebody doesn't have their photo of them. But I feel like it's unpersonable and you can't relate to somebody. I see a name and a company, but where's the picture so I could be like, oh, okay, that's who you are.
So that's going to quickly shift to be, where's the video?
That's true.
And that is happening right now. Like that was so heavily discussed at the social media marketing conference as well. Just everything turning into video. I mean, I know this is being recorded right now, which is super great, but and this will probably go on my website and your website and everywhere else. But KHTS's website, I just feel like that where's your photo is going to be like, I want to see a little video of that person.
And you know what, too? I think people are so afraid of video.
I know.
And they're afraid of putting themselves out there, and they're just afraid of not, okay, well, what if I don't say the right thing? What if I don't come across looking the way that I want to look? But you have to put all that aside because nobody really cares what you look like.
No.
And all they're listening to is they want to be entertained. They want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
Have relevance.
And
share
also,
relevance.
Yeah. And also, it doesn't have to be you. It can be anybody from your company, anybody from your business. If you are an agent, maybe you have a team. It can be a testimonial that you share. It doesn't have to be you. I think people need to take the pressure off of themselves as well.
Right.
Even if you are an entrepreneur, you might have somebody come in and do some testimonials for you.
Yeah.
That would be great.
But there's nothing more. If I'm looking to do business with somebody else, I'm like, oh, look at their little videos that they put out, or oh, I like that it was just a quick little snap of maybe a home that they were showing, and thought, hey, this was a unique place in the house, and they put it on there. I'm like, oh, that was a really
what drives me
great
crazy
thing.
though, I'll tell you, is when real estate agents go, hi, I'm here at this open house, and the picture is on them the entire time, and I saw maybe a tree in the background.
You want to see the house,
I want to see the house. It's not too much to ask.
you want to see the relevant piece of property
Flip
for sale.
the camera around so we could see the house.
So just a couple more statistics, too, that I wanted to bring up or I wanted to share with everybody. Last week, I had brought up that as of the 19th of April, we had 412 active listings. So as of today, as of this morning, we had 425 active listings. So the activity increase is going by about 13 listings per week because you have to figure out you have closings that are happening on top of it. But we're consistently staying 13 between week and week, like 13 listings ahead.
That's
great.
great.
I mean, which means that we're getting more activity on the market. We're coming in, into the spring, summer months. So we're going to start seeing a little bit of that happening more. And we've got currently 484 properties that are under contract.
Wow.
So active listings 425, 484 that are actually under contract, probably going to close within the next day
Is
to
this
60
just
days.
in Santa Clarita?
Santa Clarita, considering Castaic,
Okay.
all surrounding areas
Wow.
for here.
That's insane.
And if you're figuring there's 240 closings a month, we only have still maybe 1.7 months of inventory. Not a lot of inventory. Just a couple other things that I wanted to bring up too, statistic wise, was of the active listings, 35% of those are falling in between the range of 400 to 600. That's right where half of the market almost wants to be.
Right.
And we've got 20% of the market that's between 600 to 700,000.
Wow.
And when we were looking at this just last week, we were more in the 400 to 600. We've got a little bit more percentage growing to the 700 range, which is letting us know that prices are increasing.
Are rates still really good? Is that...
Our rates are still really good. We're still in the high 4s. On some investor cash out type loans. We might start reaching that 5% mark. But for the disclosure, APRs are about a quarter higher than, interest rate that I'm quoting. But I bought my first house at 6.25%. And that was back in 2000, and not my first house, but a house in 2006 maybe. And I bought it at 6.25%. And the only thing that's going to shift is when you're purchasing at a little bit higher interest rate, you're going to use a little bit different product. So you're going to do a 5-year interest only, 7-year interest only, 10-year interest only, something like that. Versus at the lower rates, we're going to do a 30-year fixed loan, and we're going to secure it for a longer length of time.
Right.
So as the market changes, so do we. It has always been that way.
Which is what businesses should be doing too, listening to the market, knowing how to respond to it as well.
So if house prices increase and interest rates are increasing a little bit, that just means you need to move a little bit faster.
Right.
You need to get approved a little bit quicker. You need to get yourself in that property and take advantage of the equity that's being built.
Absolutely.
Take advantage of that. I mean, since you went into your home, you'd probably be surprised the amount of equity you have in that property just in that short period of time.
Yeah, there's only been one other house that's been on the market in our little, because it's a tiny little tract. So, but yeah, it's been great. I mean, the townhome that I moved from, the equity that we built in that in 2 years was, it was incredible. That's what helped us be able to make this move.
Right.
Yeah.
So you use that stepping stone and you get the equity from that initial property to go to the next level in real estate. That's what I talk about all the time is utilize these assets to create a bigger asset for your family and for
next
yourself.
level in your life, Charlene.
The next level. Absolutely. But not only that, but I mean investment properties, invest in investment properties. There's a high level of rental properties right now. There's so many people that need rental property and there's not enough inventory.
Yeah.
So investors buy up the investment and buy up some properties and put them out as rentals. People need them.
Yeah.
They might not be in that position to purchase right now.
That's so true. It's such a great opportunity for the community to take advantage of.
Right. And what we'll see is once we start hitting that top point of value and we stay a little stagnant, we might see interest rates stay where they're at or increase a little bit more. And we'll see maybe the purchase price will decrease slightly, but your payment is going to stay the same.
Yeah.
You're going to have the same payment regardless. So people that are on the fence and waiting to purchase or move forward, don't do that to yourself.
It's just good to get all your information together and talk to a real estate agent, talk to a lender so that you can decide.
Yeah. And if you're looking to purchase, don't wait, get approved and get the process moving. But anyway, back to a few things I think that you learned that you were talking about at that convention that you went to, the talk triggers and having something specific. I think because in our industry, you're trying to set yourself apart and you're trying to set yourself into a position where you're different than the next person.
Well, you're recognizable.
You're recognizable and you're like, oh, you know what? I like, how Amanda has the little, talking bullet and it's Ask
with
Amanda.
my glasses on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I could never get contacts and nobody would ever recognize me because it's my brand.
You can't, right? It's your branding.
My glasses.
So it's just so important to do that and to set yourself aside from the mix of everybody else.
One thing I was talking to, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Steamworks Center, but she does a great thing over there. I don't know. You should totally go and get on stage. I don't know why you're not, but
I think they're going to be on the show next week. We're going to have a little bit of that.
They do this 1 million cups thing where they talk to entrepreneurs every Wednesday morning. It's fantastic. And one of the conversations that comes up a lot with these business owners is the consistency of your brand and being able to keep in line. Like, somebody will say, hey, can you put together a quick ad and throw that out for me? But they don't have the right logo or the right colors. And it's not, when you start becoming unrecognizable, then nobody's going to know what this ad means or what it's for. And I think what you're saying is trying to set yourself aside. You have to keep in mind to be consistent with everything that you're doing. And if you can't do it, then don't do it. Like if there's something that's off, then it would be better not to do it than to send it out in the wrong way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you want any piece that you're putting out there, you want it to be somewhat repetitious.
Yeah.
So you might change something slightly, but you want the look and feel to be consistent throughout all your marketing pieces.
Yes, it's so
because it's relatable, it's recognizable, and they can associate it to, oh, that's Amanda. Oh, that's Charlene. Oh, that's, because you'll just be like, that's her style, or that's the way she does it. You just become.
And if you have trouble figuring out what that is, also same thing with the talk triggers. If you have a problem trying to figure out what's my talk trigger, the best thing to do is start listening to your audience. I think that a lot of businesses that don't know what to do, it's because they're not actually listening to what people are talking about and then reacting to it in a positive way. And if you don't know how to do that, get a little, team together, like do a table talk and get a team together where you guys can come up with some ideas together of what is the community saying. I just spoke to a company recently about rebranding, and I said, get your top guy that's out in the field, get your the person that's answering your phones, get your person that's marketing your either social media or any of your marketing stuff, get the owner of the business, and get one of your top customers and get them all in a room and start talking about what you guys should be maybe going to the next level with. Like, what is it? And a lot of people don't do that. They think they keep it corporate, or they just keep it to the owners of the business and they make the decisions. Why not reach out to those team? To that, or create a team based on that.
I agree with that too. You guys are tuning into the At Home with Charlene show live on Thursdays from 2 to 3 on KHTS 98.1, the hometown station. And I'm here with Amanda. We're talking about statistical data for the local community. We're talking about, we'll keep you informed week after week of kind of what's going on in the community, on the housing market, and what to be taking advantage of, how to do it. And we're talking today about growing your business, putting your business in the right place, especially for independent, self-employed real estate agents, business owners, small business owners, and things that they can do to take their business to the next level. And I just think that if you don't have that proper branding and that proper way of putting your business out there, it's really it really isn't gonna kind of take your business back a few steps.
Yeah, it could be detrimental for sure. I mean, the fitness club in Burbank that I'm working with, Burbank Fitness Club, if they didn't take over and rebrand completely, and I mean renovate everything, it wouldn't have worked. So the previous owner was running it to the ground. It just, there's a lot of stuff, right? So when you take on a project like that, just for example, and now the brand exists, so we've rebranded, right? Now the brand exists. Now what do we do? Well, we're just trying to go everywhere with it. But guess what's happening? The community is doing it for us. They're so happy with the changes that have been made. We just now started marketing, and we took this thing over in September. And so just doing it like that, letting the community speak for you, is huge.
I was going to say, it's almost like a house in a housing tract that just lets their yard go.
Yes.
And everybody in the neighborhood talks about that one house that has the dead grass and has nothing going on. So, it takes them a year or two to actually put sod in or a sprinkler system. And when they do it, you're just like, the whole neighborhood is like,
comes together, brings them brownies and stuff.
Did you see what happened over at that house?
It's pretty true. Before we moved in, our house was vacant. And so the grass at the front was like, finally when we moved in, the neighbors came out to talk to us. And I was like, do you have a gardener? Because we need to get this mowed immediately. I feel so bad that you guys have to look at it. We didn't have a lawnmower, so.
But they're probably ecstatic.
Oh, let me tell you, the neighbor came over quickly. He was like, "I'll have the guy mow it tomorrow. Don't you worry." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." But it's true. It's the same thing, and so that's what I want people to think about when they're doing in regards to their business or their brand. Is sometimes if you're doing a really great job at whatever your service is, customer service or just referrals, anything like that, the community, your market will advertise for you. which is what you want.
I see that a lot too, because I feel if they find you an asset and they find you a value and they find you experienced in the marketplace that you're in, then it's easy for them to say, oh, give Charlene a call or give Amanda a call. I personally have had experience with them and I know that they'll take care of you, and they have experience. And, with you being at the Hyatt and Elite magazine, I mean, there's probably so much stuff you've learned.
Oh my gosh.
From a publication standpoint.
Yes.
And from a service-oriented standpoint,
corporate as well.
Yeah, and myself too. I mean, I had a very big corporate job at one point, and you learned how to work in that corporate setting, and then you have your mom and pop places that you can work with and do business with, and it's a little bit more laid back. You don't have so much of that corporate feeling, but your adversity is really what I think helps promote yourself too.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I don't know if you wanted to Chuck. I have a few more tips. I don't know where we are with
I'd love
time,
it.
But
I would love
I just feel like sometimes it's good to give people some tangible stuff. But I wanted to go back to a few things with the live video feed, what we were talking about before. People don't know what to go live with. So I highly suggest you just sit down one Sunday night or a Sunday morning, whatever, and make a list of some things that you could talk about. So as going live, and make it a scheduled regular thing so people can expect to see you at the same time every week, like you do, and be consistent with that schedule and kind of try to build and engage. So it doesn't matter that you have 2,500 followers. It matters that you have 25, because those 25 are actually listening. The 2,500 might not be. So please don't try to blow out your numbers or be disappointed that not many people are watching your live feed, but engage with those ones that are. I think that's huge. And a few topics like questions and answers would be a great thing to go live with. Local news topics are a great thing. Some product services that you offer. If you have a launch, a new product launch that you're doing, that would be a great thing. But those are just some quick ideas.
Even community events, or just, like grand opening. Nordstrom's was grand opening, I think, last Thursday before the show. So we talked about that really quick on the show. But just local community things where you see it happening and you want to let people know, hey, go check it out. It's available. They're open. It's just another place to stop and shop.
Yep. And do it live is good.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. We have lots of great things we want to wrap our show up with today, so stay tuned.
You've seen them on Spike TV's Bar Rescue. Now experience the Cajun Belle in Canyon Country. The Cajun Belle, a terrific mix of SoCal Creole and the most flavorful handmade cocktails in our valley. It's the happening place, beginning with Blues Night every Wednesday from 7 to 11. Thursday is karaoke night with all-night happy hour featuring $1 tacos. Friday is Ladies Night with the coolest DJ in town. Check out live cover bands every weekend. The Cajun Belle on Soledad opposite the Canyon Country Post Office.
Hi, this is Dr. Palucki. Before you get addicted to pain pills or find out the hard way why so many people didn't get relief from back surgery, listen to this. Our results are public record. Just Google Dr. Palucki and read the reviews. Many of our patients tried drugs and surgery, but it took coming to me to get better. If recently injured, your treatment may be at no cost to you. And chronic problems often qualify for easy payment plans. Go to drpalucki.com for an exclusive online introductory offer.
Moving Day North Los Angeles, a walk for Parkinson's, is coming up April 28th at Valencia Heritage Park. More than just a walk, Moving Day is a fun and inspiring fundraising event that celebrates exercise and unites the community in the fight against Parkinson's disease. Let's get moving. Join the Parkinson's Foundation for Moving Day North Los Angeles, Saturday, April 28th. Register today at movingdaynorthla.org.
Don and Gino here. So we know you want to have fun learning about real estate and finance. You're going to want to tune in this Saturday, 9 a.m. to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station. Hot topics, as always, guiding you to personal and financial wellness. And that's right, you don't want to miss it. So again, this Saturday, 9 a.m., and then we replay it online Sunday, 9 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. right here on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Join us.
This weekend, it's fun for your entire family at the KHTS Home and Garden Show and Crafts Fair at Central Park. Admission is free, featuring 500 500 of Santa Clarita's leading vendors. It's fun for the kids with a petting zoo, pony rides, and pig races. Go on a tasting tour at our parade of award-winning food trucks. On Saturday, join the excitement at the Emergency Expo and Arbor Day celebration, where you can catch the fire department demolish a car this Saturday and Sunday at Central Park. Full details at SantaClaritaHomeshow.com.
This is Savannah Burrows.
And I'm Hannah Greenwald.
And we're bringing the local art scene out of the shadows and into the light.
Join us this Saturday at 10 a.m. for our new show, Santa Clarita Unplugged.
In-depth interviews and raw in-studio performances with the creative forces at the center of Santa Clarita's cultural energy.
Santa Clarita Unplugged, 10 a.m. this Saturday.
Exclusively on your hometown station, KHTS.
Catch the podcast at hometownstation.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the At Home with Charlene show on Thursdays from 2 to 3 on 98.1 KHTS. I always look forward to our guests. We always have a great show. We always try to come up with just great topics to talk about, things that we think will be informational and beneficial to businesses and to each individual entrepreneur and self-employed business person. So before we left break, we were just going to chat about the going live on your Facebook, but just because you have that go live button doesn't mean you should be always doing it.
No, it's so true.
There's sometimes I see that just because you have the go live button doesn't mean that you should be going live.
Right.
What type of content would you suggest?
I definitely would suggest brainstorming that a little bit and kind of putting a plan together. I had like a few notes. I'm trying to find those, but just like, going live, but preparing your audience that you're going to go live is huge, especially if you're going to go live with a topic, so that they can chime in and call and be prepared, and also so you can as well, but they know what time to expect you and be consistent with that. But a Q&A is always good, whether it's about the current market or it's about their business or it's about a community event coming up and maybe you're on the nonprofit board or anything like that. So providing that information, some stuff behind the scenes. So like just going live and maybe putting a camera up and you address it every now and then, while let's say like there's a flower shop putting together a wedding. Wouldn't you want to see what that's like, what's all involved, or a restaurant making their, like on a super busy holiday, go live during, like be a little risky and go live during stuff like that, because it gets buy-in when they can see behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it gives yourself exposure and people have engagement.
Mm-hmm.
I think the postings have to make sure when you're posting or you're doing a video or whatever it may be that you're looking for your audience to engage with you.
Yes.
Because you don't want to just put things out there. I mean, yes, it's your personal page and you can, share your photos of your family and, trips and things that you're doing and things like that. But if you're looking for a business post, I think that you want to make sure there's engagement involved.
Yeah, for
or that
sure.
You're making sure that you're creating some type of engagement.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's another thing that people don't know how to do or don't sometimes do when they go live. You can actually see the news feed coming up, and it's very important to recognize people. First of all, they love that when you're like, hey, Charlene, thanks for tuning in. And like Charlene's on the other end all excited, like, oh, she sees me, which is what you want. And then also responding. Maybe Charlene is asking a question on your Facebook live feed, or if you're streaming live on YouTube. And so it's important to be able to answer that. So a lot of people go live and they'll talk. I've seen it. Realtors will talk all about a whole house that they're doing an open house and didn't respond one time or engage to any of the comments happening on screen.
That might be following.
Yeah, they want to say, what's the square footage of the house? Or, is there a neighbor next door? Or is there any dogs in the neighborhood? I would see questions come up on a live feed, and then get the realtor's not engaging with them. So if you are going to go live, please know that you should be engaging and responding as well.
Yeah, because that creates the other person saying, oh, look, she's engaging with so-and-so. Oh, look, there's somebody else tuning in.
It's not just that. It's how you take business offline. So, like, when this person's asking you a question about the house, you're going to remember who that is, and you're going to call them afterwards, or you're going to try to take the conversation to instant message maybe and say, hey, if you want to schedule a showing, here's how.
Mm-hmm. Or if this house wasn't what you were looking for, let's find one that is.
Absolutely.
Just creating a way to open up the door to be able to talk to them about some other type of business opportunity.
Yes.
I think that's
what we want to close the deal.
That's what we want. So, I mean, we've talked about branding. We've talked about, making sure you have a market strategy for yourself. rebranding, if your rebranding needs to be done, if you just have, different logos you're using, or there's not like a cohesive feel to your branding, make sure there's a cohesive feel to all your marketing pieces. Make sure it all blends together. The importance of social media, utilizing the different tools, the Go Live feature,
yes,
videos.
And with all that stuff, just back up a minute, with all that rebranding stuff and just making sure you're cohesive, if you need help with that, I do that. I can sit down and assess everything, so I can help with that.
And how would they get a hold of you?
Just ask Amanda. I mean, it's not hard. You can find me on any social platform, I feel like. I'm on Twitter, but that's so boring. I don't know. I'm not a Twitter fan right now.
So Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram. My phone number is literally anywhere. You can call me, text me, anything, instant message me. I probably just ask your neighbor. I feel like it's so fun. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely help with that. And sometimes that's all that you need is just like, hey, can you take a look at, I just did somebody's website the other day, and it was so helpful because she was getting ready to go meet with her web developer. And I said, wait, before you do, there's some things. And so I gave her a whole list of like things to take back to the web developer. She didn't have to do it, but it's from a fresh perspective, fresh eyes.
Right. So there were questions she wasn't sure of what to ask.
Yeah.
And those questions probably helped her develop exactly what she needed for her particular business and what was going to be beneficial for her.
Yes.
So, I mean, these are just all great tools. And we talked about your community involvement. And I know that you mentioned you have your organization doing something this weekend that you wanted to share.
With Henry, I'm involved with Henry Mail because I try. I had both my kids there, and so it's important to give back to where they gave.
Yeah, Maddie was born there too.
Yeah, so see. So, but yes, so this Saturday at the campus, at the Henry Mayo campus from 9 to 2, if you just go in the main entrance, they're having a Donate a Bear drive, and that happens every April, every year. Camelot's involved. Camelot actually stores all the teddy bears or plushed animals. So they're looking for brand new only, 9 to 12 inch in size, stuffed animals. Doesn't have to be teddy bears, but stuffed animals. And what they do with those is they give them to any of the kids that come through the ER. And it's super helpful. When it happened to my son, I did not know that was a donation, that somebody donated that bear. And so once I found out, I thought, how can I help?
And where do they store all this?
So Camelot Moving and Storage. They have, they're so kind to help, they just provide a storage unit. And Camelot will be there.
As needed.
Yeah. The volunteers will go there and check them out and bring them. So yeah,
they're a great group.
I know.
mean, they come through the offices that I'm a part of too, and they're just a really great moving company and just an organization, and the way they run their business. They have great hearts, and I think that's and
they've been in this community for years,
a long time.
And it shows. Yeah. So that's one thing that we've got coming up. And Taste of Town's coming up in May, like right around the corner. I think it's like next weekend. I don't even know what. Right? Okay, it's like next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, everyone should be involved in the community. Yeah. Everyone should be involved. We have the Home and Garden Show, I think, coming up here that KHTS sponsors this weekend too. Mm-hmm. Take a walk around the Home and Garden Show, see what you could do to do home improvements and get that property ready to sell.
Meet some new vendors.
Meet some new vendors and whatever you need to do, because our community really provides so many activities and so many different things that put people together. Different networking groups, different things that are always happening and can always put people together to do business together.
Because you never know.
You never know who is going to be around the corner that needs your help.
Yes.
Or that may be struggling, is just like, oh, you're the perfect person. Where have you been?
Yeah. Well, that's my whole thing. If you call me and ask me something and I can't help you, I will find the person that can. And it will come from my qualified circle of people. So, yeah, I think a lot of business owners should take that on. I think it's important to be out networking and connect so that you can build your own point of reference.
And that's a good point to make, too. If you're a small business owner or self-employed, have a circle of reference that you refer to. If there's something that you don't personally do yourself, make sure you have a group of surrounding people that you could say, hey, you know what, I've got a perfect person for that. Call so-and-so. She's helped or he's helped, and we could do
quality work,
referral type business. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's a good. So go do that. Go meet new people at the Home and Garden Show this weekend.
That's what we want you to do. Go out, go meet some new people this weekend. Go have a great time. Enjoy your families. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Amanda, for being my guest today. We always appreciate you. We look forward to you every Thursday. We'll see you next Thursday. Take care.